I am Ibrahim Traoré, and today I'm pulling off your masks. Yes.
72 hours. That was the ultimatum handed to Netanyahu. Not a vague gesture. Not a symbolic stand. A deadline. Israel had 72 hours to formally recognize Africa's sovereignty, to issue a public commitment to non-interference, and to acknowledge that Africa has the right to choose its alliances without punishment, pressure, or manipulation. The world watched. Tel Aviv said nothing. No press release. No phone call. No emissary. Just silence. But that silence wasn't indifference. It was a strategy. It's a kind that says, we don't take your warning seriously, but they should have. Because when Ibrahim Traoré speaks, it's not noise. It's the tremor before a geopolitical earthquake.
I am Ibrahim Traoré, and today I'm pulling off your masks.
Traoré was still being referred to as the young soldier who took power. Western analysts mocked him. He was too young, too radical, too unpredictable. They missed the truth. He wasn't playing the game. He was breaking the board when he seized power in Burkina Faso. It wasn't through backroom deals or ballot box manipulation. It was decisive, unapologetic, and it was met with something Africa had been denied for too long. Hope. Not hope for reform, hope for freedom. He kicked out French troops, suspended all Western military operations, canceled exploitative contracts overnight. He redirected the country's gold revenue away from foreign banks and toward local development. He stood in front of cameras and told the truth no one dared to speak. Africa is not poor. You're looted.
I am Ibrahim Traoré,
not
and
just
today
in Burkina
I'm pulling
Faso,
off your masks.
across the continent.
Yes.
Then came the speech. In Nairobi, a gathering of non-aligned nations, African leaders, and regional observers. Traoré stood before the world and delivered his ultimatum. Within 72 hours, the State of Israel must issue a formal recognition of Africa's right to determine its alliances. It's not just for Burkina Faso. For the continent, he said it plainly. Africa will no longer accept silence as policy. We will not be disciplined for choosing our partners. Israeli state media called it posturing. European analysts shrugged it off. The American State Department didn't even issue a statement. And so, the hours passed. Quietly then, the first deadline struck. At midnight GMT, the world saw something it wasn't ready for. No anthem. No ceremony.
I am Ibrahim Traoré,
no
and
nationalistic
today
bluster.
I'm pulling off your
Just
masks.
Traoré,
Yes.
full military uniform. A single microphone. A black backdrop.com. Composed, deadly serious. He spoke. Since our voices have been ignored, we'll no longer participate in silence. Then he declared, all Israeli-linked business operations in Burkina Faso were suspended, including banks, telecom, defense technology, and mining contracts frozen. A new continental summit had been scheduled with 15 African nations to form a diplomatic alliance immune to Western coercion. A call to African nations: reconsider the presence of Israeli embassies and examine whether they serve your sovereignty or someone else's interests. And then the screen went black. By morning, tremors had
I am
spread.
Ibrahim Traoré, and today
Mali
I'm
recalled
pulling
its
off your
ambassador
masks.
from Tel Aviv.
Yes.
Guinea froze Israeli telecom infrastructure. South Africa issued a rare direct statement. We recognize the courage of Burkina Faso. Silence is complicity. But what happened next wasn't diplomatic. It was generational. In cities across Africa, from Accra to Lusaka, young people poured into the streets. Flags waving, fists raised, chants fill the air. Africa will not be silenced. Our deadline, our dignity. Traoré speaks, we act. In Nigeria, students at 3 major universities marched on their foreign ministries. In Tanzania, community radio played Traoré's speech on repeat for 48 hours. In Senegal, artists painted murals of him, surrounded by
Ibrahim
Pan-African
Traoré,
colors.
and today I'm pulling off your
With the
masks.
phrase, respect is non-negotiable. Meanwhile, Netanyahu convened a closed-door Security Council. No cameras, no transcripts, but leaks came anyway. Phrase surfaced allegedly from Netanyahu himself. This is not just Burkina Faso anymore. This is a movement. And we ignored it. Still, there was no formal response. So Traoré did what no one expected. He raised the stakes again. 3 days. Later, at midnight once more, he appeared. No fanfare, no introduction. It's one sentence. This is your final notice. Then came the real shock. All African states were urged to divest from Israeli-linked financial institutions within 48 hours.
Ow.
Companies refusing would be subject to
I am Ibrahim
nationalization.
Traoré, and
A
today
regional
I'm
defense
pulling off
pact
your
was
masks.
proposed,
Yes.
excluding all non-African military advisors. We must learn to defend ourselves with our own hands, he said. A binding diplomatic charter was unveiled, a draft treaty for African countries to form a unified foreign policy stance on conflicts involving Africa. No more split voices. No more soft condemnations. And then he said something no African head of state had said in public since the 1960s. If international law does not protect Africa, then Africa must write its own. That quote went viral in under an hour by now. The world couldn't ignore it. Israel's foreign ministry released a tepid statement calling for respectful dialogue. The EU called the situation concerning. The US proposed a trilateral discussion, but none of it mattered, because the street had already spoken.
I am Ibrahim
The youth had already
Traoré, and
mobilized.
today I'm pulling off your
The
masks.
fear wasn't just of
Yes.
political disruption anymore. It was momentum. Africa was moving. Kenya, Tanzania, and Ghana joined the summit. Ethiopia declared a continental re-evaluation of foreign partnerships. Even Morocco signaled support for Pan-African diplomatic alignment. And Traoré, he went silent. Again, no tweets. No press appearances. No interviews. Just silence. But this time, it echoed louder than any speech. Analysts debated, was this a strategic retreat? A calm before the next move? Or was it the moment power shifted hands from one man to a movement? Because here's what they missed. Traoré didn't want to be the center. He wanted to be the spark. And now the fire was spreading. So we ask you,
I am Ibrahim
did
Traoré,
Netanyahu
and today
underestimate Traoré?
I'm pulling off your masks.
Did he ignore a deadline
Yes.
that wasn't just political but generational? More importantly, it did Israel. Comply? We may not have the full answer yet, but one thing is certain. The game has changed. The rules are no longer written in Washington or Paris. They're being rewritten in Ouagadougou, Lagos, and Addis Ababa. Before we go, a final message from Traoré's last broadcast. To the people of Africa, this is not my struggle. It is yours. I will speak when needed. But now, the continent must answer. Will you accept the silence or become the voice? If this moment gave you chills, hit that like button. Subscribe to Traoré Uprising for more bold, real-time breakdowns of the moments that reshape our world. And in the comments, tell us where you're watching from. The world see that this
I am
isn't just an
Ibrahim
African
Traoré,
story.
and
This
today
is
I'm
global.
pulling off your
This-
masks.
It's history in
Yes.
motion.